The moa were perhaps the most unusual family of birds that ever lived. There were 9 different species, from which the smallest was about the size of a turkey, while the giant moa was larger than ostrich. Some stood as tall as 12 feet tall or 3.6 meters and weighed as much as 550 pounds or 250 kilograms. The moa had strong, elephant-type legs with 3 front-facing toes on each foot to better climb the Rocky Mountains of New Zealand and a long neck to consume fruits, leaves, berries and seeds from the smaller branches of trees and shrubs. The evolution made the moa a perfect survivor in a peaceful environment like many other flightless birds from the islands, such as the kiwi bird and the kakapo. Yet, there was only one threat to the moa's thriving until arriving of the Maoris on the islands: the Haast eagle. It's believed to be one of the heaviest raptors on Earth and simultaneously the largest eagle to ever exist. It was the apex predator of New Zealand, whose weight ranged between 10 to 18 kilograms. The strong legs and massive flight muscles of these eagles would have enabled them to hunt on all large New Zealand birds: carrero, ducks, swans, geese, rails, and all moa. The Haast eagle had larger foot bones compared to its closest living relative, the little eagle. This gave them the ability to hunt prey that was more than 10 times heavier than their own weight. After killing their prey, they could stay by it until the meal was finished. There were no other competitors or predators to chase them away. A large kill such as the giant moa would have taken a few days to eat through. However, when their major source of food dwindled in numbers, so did they. The Haast eagle would have died out about the same time as the moa. Yet, the Haast eagles were only in the South Island, where all their bones and fossils have been found. This means that on the North Island there were no predators that could threaten the moa's thriving. This led to the unique adaptation of the majestic bird. The moas evolved flightlessness in isolation over millions of years because the food they relied on was easily accessible on the ground. Unlike other gigantic extinct birds such as the elephant bird and the dodo, which had vestigial wings, the moa was the only giant bird that developed complete winglessness. The large size of the giant moa can be explained by a phenomenon called island gigantism. The moas had unlimited food and resources on the islands, combined with the lack of predators, which resulted in evolutionary changes. This is a common occurrence where the body becomes bulky, wings become vestigial, and flight becomes unnecessary. The same processes happened with the kiwi bird, the kakapo, the southern cassowary, the dodo, and many others. This phenomenon is common for the inhabitants of New Zealand, as it is the perfect place for such an evolution. It's fascinating how the 9 different species of moa have uniquely adapted to various biomes and climate zones. The little bush moa is the smallest known species. It lived in wet rainforests and was likely preyed on by both Haast eagle and Isles harrier. Its habitat included dense lowland conifer, broad-leaved southern beech forests, and scrubland. With a sturdy, sharp-edged beak, it likely had a diet consisting of twigs and tough plant material. This turkey-sized, lightly built bird had a rounded head, a short, stubby, rounded bill, and relatively slender legs. Its bare, scaly legs and shaggy hair like body feathers were distinctive physical features. The upland moa is another example of the moa's diverse nature. It used to be common in the subalpine zone of the South Island, up to 2,000 meters above sea level. It inhabited high country herb fields, tussock lands, and montane forests, where it searched for its main food source, alpine herbs and small shrubs, in open herb fields and grassland habitats. Unlike other moa, it had feathers covering its entire body, reaching the base of the bill and covering its lower legs, protecting them from the cold weather of the New Zealand's upland. However, everything we know about the moa is based on a study that has spanned less than 200 years, starting with the first description of the bird from a small fossilized bone fragment found in 1839. Even today, we continue to make a significant progress in understanding the nature and classification of the moa. One of the recent discoveries revealed that the moa exhibited extreme sexual dimorphism, with females being up to 150% taller and 280% heavier than males, leading to their classification as separate species until 2003. The moa's nature has been the subject of numerous studies, focusing on the remains of its eggs and well-preserved specimens discovered in caves and swamps. Recent studies have shown that one of the primary reasons for the moa's extinction was its low reproductive rate, even though they laid the largest eggs of any bird species, measuring up to 8 inches in length and weighing over 3 pounds. Nest findings suggest that moths laid only one egg per season, which may have been incubated throughout the winter. Compared to extendrotides, moths took a long time to reach sexual maturity. The growth period of moths could extend from as few as 3 years to as many as 9 years, and they reach sexual maturity in as long as 5 years. Yet, the end of the 2.5 million year history of the moa's life was mainly caused by the arrival of the Maori. New Zealand was the last large and habitable place on Earth discovered by humans. For over 500 years, the Maori had been colonizing the lands of Polynesia, and in the 13th century they finally discovered the land of New Zealand. The moa were hunted to extinction by the Maori, who found them easy targets. They consumed their flesh and used their feathers and skin for clothing, while the bones were utilized for fish hooks and pendants. Research suggests that the moa became extinct within about 100 years after humans arrived on the islands. By 1445, all moa had disappeared, along with the Haast seagull that relied on them for food. Some researchers speculated that a few upland moa may have survived in isolated parts of New Zealand until the 18th and even the 19th centuries, but this perspective isn't confirmed. Some Maori hunters claimed to have pursued the moa as late as 1770s. It's interesting to compare the extinction of the moa and the dodo. Their stories have many similarities but also many differences. Unlike the dodo, the moa wasn't driven to extinction by the Europeans, and there is no exact evidence of the moa's appearance. One of the biggest questions surrounding this ancient bird is related to its neck. It remains a mystery whether the moa's neck was stretched out like an ostrich's or if they held their neck down like a small kiwi bird. That question remains controversial.